The Indiana Fevers returned to the WNBA playoffs after an 8-year drought got off to a rough start on Sunday afternoon, as they fell to the Connecticut Sun, 93-69, in Game 1 of their best-of-3 first-round series. Playing at the Mohegan Sun Arena in front of a raucous home crowd, the Fever struggled to find their rhythm early on and now face elimination as the Sun lead the series 1-0. The Fever will need a win in Game 2 on Wednesday, again at Mohegan Sun Arena, to force a deciding Game 3 in Indianapolis. A loss would bring an abrupt end to a promising season for Indiana, highlighted by the breakout performances of their star rookie, Caitlin Clark, and a rejuvenated roster. However, in Game 1, Clark's highly anticipated playoff debut was hampered by an unfortunate incident early in the game, one that appeared to set the tone for her and the Fever's struggles throughout the contest. Just 90 seconds into the game, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's Rookie of the Year favorite, was at the center of a concerning moment. While defending Sun guard DeJohnai Carrington, Clark took an inadvertent finger to the eye. She immediately crumpled to the floor, clutching her face in pain, while her teammates and the Indiana bench called for a foul. Surprisingly, no foul was called on the play, and the game continued. Though visibly shaken, Clark didn't exit the game for long, returning to the court after a quick timeout to regroup. Yet, it was clear that the injury affected her. Throughout the first half, the broadcast cameras caught close-ups of Clark's face, showing a black eye forming around her right eye by halftime. The impact of the injury was most noticeable in her shooting. Clark, known for her deadly range from beyond the arc, uncharacteristically missed all 6 of her 3-point attempts in the first half. She ended the first 20 minutes with just 3 points on 1 of 9 shooting, an uncharacteristic stat line for the prolific scorer. In the second half, Clark started to show flashes of her usual self, knocking down 2 3-pointers in the third quarter and adding a layup to push her total to 11 points. However, her shooting woes continued, as she finished just 4 of 17 from the field and 2 of 13 from long distance. With Connecticut's defense locking in on Clark and fellow star Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever couldn't find enough offense to keep up with the Sun's balanced attack. Clark's shooting struggles, compounded by the physical and mental toll of the eye injury, left the Fever searching for answers as they fell further behind. Adding to the Fever's challenges were a series of questionable officiating decisions that seemed to disrupt their flow throughout the game. The first controversy arose just 45 seconds into the game when Aliyah Boston, Indiana's Rookie of the Year candidate alongside Clark, was called for a foul on a play in which she wasn't even involved. Indiana immediately challenged the call and won, with the foul being reassigned to Lexi Hull. The officiating woes didn't end there. Carrington's poke to Clark's eye, which visibly injured the star guard, went uncalled, much to the dismay of Indiana's players, coaching staff, and fans. Throughout the first half, head coach Christy Sides was visibly frustrated with the lack of whistles in favor of her team, leading to a technical foul after she argued a non-call on Lexi Hull being ruled out of bounds. Sides' frustration seemed to spill over into the team's play, as the Fever struggled to find their rhythm. At one point, Erica Wheeler had to physically restrain Sides from continuing her argument with the referees. The breakdown in communication and trust with the officials undoubtedly impacted Indiana's ability to focus on the game at hand. Compounding their frustration, the Fever's up-tempo, transition-based offense was repeatedly disrupted by issues with the shot clock. On 3 separate occasions in the first half, the clock failed to start on time when Indiana gained possession, leading to unnecessary stoppages in play. The frequent interruptions prevented the Fever from building any momentum and disrupted the fluidity of their offense. One of the few bright spots for Indiana in this tough Game 1 loss was the play of veteran forward Damiris Dantas. The Brazilian stretch 4 has been a key bench contributor for the Fever throughout the second half of the season, and her playoff experience showed as she provided a steadying presence when Indiana needed it most. Dantas, one of only 4 players on the Fever roster with prior playoff experience, entered the game in the first quarter and quickly made an impact. She drained 2 3-pointers in the first half, helping Indiana stay within striking distance at a time when their offense was struggling. She finished the half with 10 points on 3 of 5 shooting, spacing the floor and creating opportunities for her teammates.